Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Emmanuel Aibogun say Benin Traditional Council need to investigate one chief wey dey for palace. He say that chief don give Curtis Ugbo some power make e go take dey operate for one community for Benin City for Edo State. Make I leave you, make you hear from Emmanuel Aibogun, the message we bring come here today.
Yes. Good morning. A warm good morning to you all, my conscious Edo people, wherever you are across the globe. A good day to you. I remain no other person than yours, noble right activist, comrade Bogu Emmanuel. And if you're just joining me this very hour on the broadcast, I would appeal to your consciences that you share this broadcast because it's a tough talk and we ought to say issues the way it is, owing to the fact that some of us are not happy over the malicious damage and abuse of our traditional institution by some elements who are functionaries and functionaries of the palace, who stop at nothing to ensure that they use their affluence as functionaries of the palace to cause all form of crisis, communal crisis, all in a bid for them to see how they can get more proceeds of monies in their pockets. And over time, some of you will agree with me that I have been talking tough on these issues, even to an extent where so many people started tagging me as an enemy of the palace, owing to the fact that my intentions were to, bring out these ills so that we can have, a well-respected and well institutionalized traditional council as it has always been from time immemorial. But owing to the fact that some criminal elements who have over the time used their influence, or pretense to be fighting for the interests of the palace and the Benin heritage, have over time monetized the institution to their own benefits. Before I forge ahead, I want to appeal to those who are watching, who are over 10 of us. Because of the nature of this broadcast, I want you all to please, particularly those of you who are sons and daughters of the great Benin Kingdom, to please share this broadcast. Please share this broadcast. Because a lot, when I mean a lot has been happening, and not until when we decide to put a stop to this, it will go a long way to continuously cause damage and disrepute to the great Benin Kingdom, as the case may be. Some of you might not know the extent to which these damages are causing our locals, particularly in the case of Oyo community in the Wonde local government area of Edo State, to be precise. At this very moment, my heart bleeds because people who ought to be in prison custody, who ought to be in correctional centers, are actually walking freely on the streets of Benin, seeking for one form or one platform or the other to see how they can annex our locals who want to ensure that they stop at nothing to administrate community lands, all in a bid to acquire wealth and illegal monies for themselves. It is so painful that despite the fact that some group of persons who have managed the affairs of Ohio community along the Bini Auchi Express Road, particularly kilometer 15 from Rama Park, if you decide to scale for an address to see for yourself what the issues have been over there, you will see that Ohio community has been thrown into crisis. Promoting native war is now the order of the day. And for some of us, we believe that as comrades, as non-state actors who have a voice, we should not fold our arms and allow miscreants, criminals, kidnappers, looters, vandals to take charge of communities within one of the local government, as the case may be. Some persons might ask, what is Emmanuel's interest in this matter? Are there no crises in other communities? As much as I have a voice, people reach out to me, some for, some for against. But when I look at the merits in what they are complaining to me about, I take it all out. On this issue of Oyozebao, I saw it as a mere communal crisis until when I decided to take a tour secretly to look at the extent of damage. Vehicles, people's houses were looted. If you could recall a few days ago, particularly on Thursday when we had a protest in Benin City, if you could recall, sorry, on was it on Monday or Tuesday there about where we had the protest last week? If you could recall, some of us gave a support to that protest, and after we supported the protest, you heard what a female among the female folks who came out to protest did say, that she had acquired 55 bags of rice to sell for this festive season. If you go by what the market value of a bag of rice is today, at about 30,000 naira for a bag of rice, 10 bags is 300. Multiply 10 times 30, you're talking about, multiply 10 times 55, you are talking about nearly 1.5 to 2 million naira that this woman invested in her business, all in a bid to see how she can make profits for herself and her family. Now, what was she greeted with? This is somebody who is in her aboriginal community as a native. What was she greeted with? She was greeted with hoodlums attacking her home, cutting away her rice, selling it, damaging it, selling it at what cost they feel like selling. And at the end of the day, they've returned this woman back to poverty. This woman is not in any way a partaker in the administration of community lands or the affairs of the community, as the case may be. She's just a vulnerable victim who have been affected by the ills of what the likes of Ugbo and one chief Ugwa from the palace, find or derive pleasure in doing, to the detriment of the locals who are in such a community. However, land matters or land administration issues are always civil matters. I keep saying it because that is the way it is. But when people decide to toe the path of criminality to see how they can further take charge forcefully, or to see how they can further administrate the community assets forcefully, this amounts to criminality and crime. And at that point in time, you can no longer say it's a civil matter. You can agree with me that some time ago we did publish faces and damages of people who were badly affected by the invasion of these Ugbo-led thugs that came to the community, particularly Oyozebao, to invade the community, whereby beating people who are not in consensus at the time with one Sunday Dabonya's leadership over the community. This Sunday, Dabonya has since paraded himself as an Ojonwe, and to the best of my understanding, he's an illegal Ojonwe, because the acting Ojonwe, which we interviewed some time ago, if you have been following us on this issue, did say that he was not the Ojonwe, but he was acting. And at that acting capacity, he was the Osipo giver. And at that acting capacity, he could not address himself as Ojonwe until when he has been confined to be an Ojonwe by the palace since the late Ojonwe's demise. But this Sunday, Dabonya, who tried to use some persons like this Chief Ugwa in the palace that he knows to, carry out one or two forceful takeover of the Ojonwe's tool of Oyozebao, did perfect plans to do that with some persons that I've earlier mentioned to you. One Chief Ugwa of the palace, who on a fateful day did send people to take a message to the people of Oyozebao that the monarch wants to see them, knowing fully well that his actions is very untrue. He had no message from the monarch to deliver to these people, but because of his position in the palace, he was able to influence two young men two young palace messengers to go to Oyozebao community to meet with the leadership of the community and tell them that they were invited by the palace to do what we call the Roland strategy of using the palace influence. Oba Tane, Oba has spoken to, reduce and increase the momentum of this Mr. Sunday Dabonya, who parades himself as the John Way of the community. Now, very painful. I'll be showing you the videos where these men came into the community. You can see them well seated. They are, in the course of after this broadcast, in the course of the day, I will share the video so that you know these two functionaries who came to the community, to carry out this act. So I'm going to play it in the course of my broadcast so that people will understand what I'm saying. These are palace messengers. Watch what they came to do in the community. So if you see these two men who these drinks were handed over to, both of them were those who were sent by Chief Ugwa. You can see them opening their drink. You can see them opening their drinks. They were the two palace messengers that were sent by Chief Ugwa to the community. Unfortunately, when they got there, they now realized that people who were in the community were also people most of whom were affiliates of the palace who know how these things work. And when they tried to confront them, they opened up and said they were sent by Chief Ugwa to come and deliver this message to the Ojon Way to see how they can, have a way of settling whatever crisis they were having there without the consent of the monarch. Now, over time, it's so painful that these are palace functionaries who will go all out to carry out these illicit acts. Over time, members of the community have always reached out to the monarch. They pay courtesy visits. The palace have always entertained them, which I'm going to show you the video in the course of this broadcast. Now, what is Curtis Ugbo doing? Curtis Ugbo is playing a formidable role in this crisis. When I say a formidable role, he is the one interfacing with the police on behalf of Sunday Dabonya. He's the one mobilizing tools and thugs for these people. It's not the first time some of us have been saying this. In the crisis of Ugbo, I said despite the fact that Johnson Ashelege was not in a good terms with the Nogi of Ugbo over communal benefit as to oil funds that were given to them as royal grants or community grants and all that in those Ijaw riverine communities that are on the river bank of the Benin Kingdom to the Shekiri nation on the Warri axis. So if you on the Sapele Road axis, so if you look at the role Curtis Ugbo played, you saw there were two young men who were caught with firearms on their way back from Olobo. A stop and search vehicle stops them on the road, caught them. Not police going to arrest them. A stop and search vehicle caught them on the road, and they discovered those cut-to-size guns with them. They were arrested and transferred to the state CID, particularly then the Federal SARS unit of the state CID, where they were being investigated, and they confessed to have been sent by one Curtis Ugbo, which you all know, that claims to be the President General or General of Benin Solidarity Movement, and he had been involved in so many illicit transactions that has to do with civil society organizations and all that. Naming from the days when I know him from Edo Youth Congress till whatever association is currently flaunting as a comrade, which I disagree totally with him. Now, Curtis Ugbo, knowing fully well that this is an avenue for him to make money, he quickly swung into action when he was contacted by this Chief Ugwa of the palace, who recommended Kotisugbo to the Daboya's children, some of whom are Samuel and the rest who are parading themselves as Okaigeles and chairman and the rest of the community. Now, what did these boys do? There's nothing bad in saying the leadership that people are having, we are not comfortable with it. We want to come out and also make our own observation and position known and do what we can do better. The moment they noticed that this current leadership, headed by the current Okaigele, was carrying out things that they could not do with the monies they asked them to render account for, that they have sold community land, particularly communal lands that belong to private individuals. This was what the community came out to say. You can see the acting of John Way seated right in front of the table.
While showing off amenities now functioning as a result of self-help of sons and daughters of Ugbo, including provision of electrical accessories for the community's transformer, which has brought electricity supply for the first time, rehabilitation of industrial boreholes previously abandoned in the community, rehabilitation and ensuring functionality of the market, as well as ongoing construction of town hall. For the elders of the village, including Ugbemudia Igariba, Ohenwomo Niyomo, Princess Helen Osazua, and Francis Obaiti, the locality is now enjoying a glimpse of development owing to the change of those who had sway in the community's affairs, even as sons and daughters were called upon to come home and join hands with others who desire the advancement of the locality.
Ma moto ni ma be fiane Arioba ni ave jolo ni ma owe benu boke ba na secondary school ibi marire ma na ni owe aya je ekino re area tu ma gbari roko sa ke aye school awo ma go pon ire ni urupa mu ke aga de na August ga de urupa na do so ya ba request ba wo baba na ni ogba ona re do ala request ba wo eki ona do so ya do e ma ya na latin wo wa e go egi bi e wi ma agi punya de da debu ai mu ga ire agi mo ge de ri o te e yes ba wo. With the development in this community now, we are all happy. We got light, we got market, so it's a kind of a good development. I'm equally using this medium to invite all the sons and daughters of this village to come back home.
For Pa.
So you can see the video there. The truth be said, when the community witnessed this turnaround development with the process of what they were administrating community lands for, the Daboya children who gave an account of what they have sold to be about 32 million and was made to account for the money so that they should come forward with the money so that they can actually carry out these developmental activities, set up a market, set up a town hall, and also bring back electricity to the community so that developmental programs can be taking place. What they did was to allege the current Enoge of wanting to cause crisis in the community solely because of the people, the elders, demanded that the monies that they were getting from the administration of community lands, that those monies should be brought forward so that they can actually carry out these programs. What did these people do? They mobilized thugs to invade the community. Some persons who were, on the part of the elders, some youths who were on the part of the elders demanding that the right thing be done. They immediately, went to their homes, styled some of them, flogged them. There were almost about 50-something men armed with over 20-something rifles and pump-action guns and what have you. So they invaded and created fear, looted the people, stole people's goods, fowls, and the rest, and made sure that the community was not accessible. Even till date as we speak, people find it very difficult. I drove to the bypass to see for myself in a vehicle that nobody knows should even be my vehicle. I won't be inside the vehicle. And when I went to the community, I saw the way and manner in which vehicles were scattered. I quickly saw that the place was becoming tense because everywhere was very dry. We quickly drove out. On our exit from the community, you need to see the number of young men who were trying to stop us. And on that day, I vowed that The only way for these people to return back to their community is to go and beg the police, the Edo State Police Command, to send their tactical teams to go and comb that area, to go and ensure that the area is properly, ransacked. Now, what now happened probably 2 days ago? The young men, since we started advocating and exposing their illicit acts, their intention was to take over the community and quickly get people to be buying the community land so that they can have proceeds of the money. But because we have been able to circulate enough information on media platform, advising and radio stations, advising people who want to go and buy properties there to immediately desist forthwith until when normalcy returns back to the community, they will also be informed. The expectations of them getting quick money when they take over the community met a brick wall. Now, what were they now doing as a second point of rescue was to begin to see how they can begin to ransack, smaller units within the community where you have the something. I don't know how to pronounce the name though. There's a camp there, something called Ford Camp or so, Ogoja camp, where some farmers were settling. It's a government reserve where they were settling to, carry out farms and they sell their farm products and all that. They were wanting to kidnap the leader of the camp, so that they can get some ransom. Unfortunately, luck ran out of them when the vigilantes within that area overpowered them and they were arrested. Now, because of constraint, the Ugba Police Division could not come to receive them when they were called, to carry them when they were called. Ekadolo was now told to come in and carry them, which Ekadolo did, and also transferred them to the state CID. So currently they are at the state CID, and one of those persons who were arrested is the son of this man who parades himself as the Ojon Way, who in turn hired the likes of Kotisugbo to come and perfect whatever thing they are doing. Now, to the activities of Kotisugbo, over time, when this matter was reported to me, I said, no, I want to see something that will link me and, allow me to have basis to indict Kotisugbo and explain his indictment in this matter. Kotisugbo, when the first 3 suspects were arrested, they were arrested and taken to the area command, Egba police station, the area command. Kotisugbo wrote petition to the state CID. The matter was transferred to the state CID. When it was duly looked into, it saw that what Kotisugbo were saying, what their allegations and positions were false. So they had no other options than to charge the matter to court. Upon Kotisugbo knowing that the matter would be charged to court, he now ran to Zone 5 to do what he knows how to do best, to use the Zone 5 police architecture to quickly transfer the matter and see how he can use money to influence the police officers there and grant bail. But that also met a brick wall. That was why some of us started advocating to it over the crisis on social media. Now, I want to use this medium to beg, particularly learned chiefs in the palace. When I mean learned Benin chiefs who are well read in the palace, so please, these palace functionaries that are going about spoiling the image of the palace before local Benis, some of them do not understand the extent of damage, like this Chief Ugwa. If there's nobody you go to Oyo Zebahu community to ask that would not explain the role of this man and Kotisugbo to you people. I am very surprised. Before I traveled to carry out some engagements in the capital city of Nigeria and go for some interviews in an embassy I have an appointment with by Monday, I got wind of this letter from my secretary inviting me, and I read Emmanuel S.I. Bogun, number 2/3 Oregbeni Street, off Agbo Road, Boba Hill, Benin City. Police invitation letter. A case of defamation of character, cyber stalking, threat to life, and conduct likely to cause breach of peace. This office is investigating a case reported through a petition to the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 5 Headquarters, Benin City. You are invited to have an interview with the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of Zonal Criminal Investigation Department, Zone 5 Headquarters, Benin City, through OC Crack Section, Zone 5 Headquarters, Benin City, on Thursday, 15th December 2022 at 10:00 hours. Accept the assurance of our warmest regard, please. DCP Obiozo Uche Cyril, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Criminal Investigation Departments, CID, Zone 5, Benin City, Edo State. So this was the letter and the petition written by Curtis, a letter of invitation. Of course, we will oblige. As soon as I get into Benin by Tuesday or Wednesday, I will immediately oblige myself so that the police can hear the reasons why we are actually going all out on Curtis Ugbo. Curtis Ugbo has succeeded in destroying very many communities. Very many, and you need to see him when he's in the police station. He will say he's a messenger of the Oba, and the Oba has the property there. The Oba has sent him as a. You need to see the way Curtis Ugbo is talking. You ask yourself, does the Oba send this boy to go and sell land or to represent him? On an occasion, when it has to do with the issue of the Ekato farmland in Ologbo, Curtis Ugbo said before the DC that he is chairman on Oba protection, whatever land, and the woman does not have land there, and the Oba told him. When Mrs. Ekatona confronted that, you said the Oba told me, he denied. This was something he said initially, he denied, and when he was told to write notifications that the police would write to the palace to verify if he was sent there, he denied. The next thing that happened, he greeted me with a petition to Zone 5. Today, I beg the police to charge that matter to court. Till date, the police have refused. Curtis Ugbo used the influence of the secretary to the palace and all that to call the police authority that they should allow the matter lie low, knowing fully well that if he goes to court, he will be held liable. I was also approached by some 1 or 2 persons and told to allow the sleeping dog lie and all that, which I did. But this Curtis Ugbo has not stopped his illicit act. And for some of us who also come out to tell the authority and say the truth the way it is, Curtis Ugbo will go as far as damaging our personality. He has insulted me, calling me that I'm not a graduate, telling me that I am from Ugbo. There's no sort of allegation this young man has not brought against my person. But I will continue to confront him with the truth. I will continue to expose his illicit acts. For crying out loud, I don't know the Bahu community before. I only know it's a community in my local government. I don't know it as a community where I know about their affairs, or a community where I go to get properties for clients. Or no, the complaints of Oyezebao people recommended somebody who knew me from the diaspora to them and told me that I have been on this matter. In as much as Curtis Ugbo is involved in this matter, he has been following me, that I would assist them a long way. And I've gone all out. I've told them, the moment you decide to take the barrel of the gun as an option, to cause more crisis or to go there to fire at people or fire at yourself, I will immediately withdraw whatever voice I'm giving people at the moment. Do not toe the path of arms. Do not toe the path of selfless service. Allow the police do their job. I will take it before the Commissioner of Police. I will take it before the Inspector General of Police, police institutions, to ensure whatever voice or protection or support people need to take back your community from these invaders, I will support you. But do not toe the path of illegality. That is where I will not be a part and parcel to it. Because by the time you are doing that, you are as guilty as the same person who came to invade your community. The law is ignorant. And they upheld my position. And I had no other choice. I've been supporting them. I've been drawing the attentions of the relevant security agencies and leadership to their plight. And thus far, that has been my contribution. Now, where I knew that Curtis Ugbo was actually doing what he was paid to do was when 2 people were arrested, 3 persons were arrested. I posted their names. One was Samuyi, Edusa, and one other name like that. They were arrested. Curtis Ugbo came from Zone 5, from State CID, wrote a petition, forcefully used his influence to call secretary, call this, call that. They granted one of the boys who they say was not with firearms bail. And from the reliable information, that boy is one of the major causes of crisis in that community. Curtis Ugbo was able to pull that one out, and he demanded for more money, that they need to write an application, a petition to the zonal office, complain about the investigation at the command, that it was not in favor of justice and all that, what have you. Immediately we came out on the media and we said it again, that in line with his normal practice, we know how he works. He has also run down there. to write petition, to see how he can influence the AIG and the police officers there, to see how they can provide the cause of justice. I, for once, I don't believe in supporting criminality, because at the end of the day, you don't know who will be affected tomorrow, if it's your cousin or your brother or your father. Imagine today if those people have succeeded in kidnapping those people in the camp, and at the end of the day they demand for a ransom of 2-3 million. That will empower them to get more ammunitions. That will empower them to continuously cause crisis in Oyo Zebawu community. As I speak to you now, they are now running from pillar to post because supplies are not coming in. They are not getting resources to get those things that will keep them committing those crises. So to an extent, the question to ask is this what we really want in our Benin kingdom? That we see as a pride to the Benin man and the Edo nation at large. So these are the areas where we are currently, complaining about. And for some of you, you know very, very well, very, very well. I don't stop at saying the matter the way I see it. I don't stop there. I also go out to ensure that the right thing is done. And thus far, we have been doing what is expected of us. For me, people look at the disadvantages of social media, but they don't see the advantages of social media in this current dispensation that we find ourselves. A lot of persons are not using social media to the benefit of the Benin nation, while very many are also doing good jobs. The question to ask, if Kotisugbo was called into this matter to mediate or whatever, why didn't he bring both parties together? Why didn't he try to see how he can, settle them amicably? I know the likes of Kola Edopaye, I know communities where Kola has been called into, and he will tell them, no, you must make peace. If you don't make peace, at the end of the day, you'll be spending resources that would have been used to help somebody to get a better life on cases. And cases can remain in court for as much as 10-15 years. You'll still be having cases. So why don't people come together, you share your sword, and settle and live as brothers? Do not allow money or greed or whatever to hijack your sense of reason. Very many communities that Kola has done that, and I will always keep on commending him. I know some other comrades also who have also gone out of their way to see how they can, broker peace, not supporting one faction to totally crush the other faction. How can you encourage people to carry firearms? How can you encourage people who are caught in the process of carrying out firearms? You are going to solicit for their bail and you say you are a comrade. These people have not been investigated. You want to use the bureaucratic opportunities of the police to transfer to where you have a conspire within the police, and they conspire with you to grant bail. This is what Kotisugbo does for a living. This is what he does naturally for a living. The truth is that most of you should ask yourself, why have Kotisugbo not come out? In the case of Ologbo, he felt he had the influence of the palace. He was coming out to speak on daily basis. This matter, we must go to court on it. He was coming out to speak on daily basis because he believed he had the influence of the palace. Now the palace have told him that you don't need your services here. Go, you are not a good son. Now he is not using his allies within the palace to see how they can provide the cause of justice. And I'm saying these things out because this is to be used as an example against Ugbo. He should be called to order, because what these people are doing in Benin, even the police can also attest to this. There are police officers who know their activities. They can also attest to it. It's not a hidden thing. It's not something that Emmanuel Agbogu is saying because I don't like Kotisugbo. Yes, I don't like Ugbo. I don't like his way of life. But I will not stop at saying the truth where the need be. Ugbo is only promoting crisis. Himself and this chief Ugwa, they need to be brought to book. The palace should not just fold their arms. They need to be shown proper discipline and possible prosecution where necessary, because their action is only spotting the Edo nation to be in a bad light, and that is not what some of us believe in. Some of us believe that the Edo nation should be a place that anybody can call home. But what are we seeing today? They are day in day out doing carrying out activities that is headed towards reducing the reputation of the Benin Palace, the Oba Of Benin Palace. And at the end of the day, these are persons who will come out to say, oh, We are fighting for the interest of the monarch, of the Edo nation. We are fighting for the interest of this. Oh no, these are people who want to destroy the image of the palace. Oh no, the question to ask. The question to ask: are they doing the right thing? Are these persons, are they doing the right thing? Are they portraying the Edo nation in the right face? Go to a Bahu community, meet the people and ask them who are those people giving you crisis? You hear. So please, we are over 28 watching this broadcast. I would really love us to share because I want to conclude. Ugbo is promoting native war. Ugbo is ensuring that he promotes criminals to be in leadership position in the community so that they can come and give him plots of land, 5 plots, 6 plots, 7 plots, and go and sell 1 million, 4 million, 2 million. You sell, and tomorrow you sit in the comfort of your house and say, oh, you are a hard-working father. You are a hard-working this. That is not how to live a life. That is not how to live a life. So that is why some of us are complaining. And we don't want to be complaining because, oh, we like talking. We want to complain because we want results. And at this junction, I also want to urge my brothers, particularly Naija Watch and Danny Yaji, and other YouTube bloggers who always come to our walls to use information available on our platforms to promote theirs, to also understand that at a time like this, we need to see their presence to let members of the public know. And particularly those people who also want to go and buy land in Oyo Zebahu community so that tomorrow they will not be having issues. This is the time when we need to rise up and stop those illicit things that are not promoting good ethics in our community, in our kingdom, in our state. Because at the end of the day, when crisis looms, when crisis is there, who is affected? Who is affected? Is it not the ordinary man? A poor woman who at this festive season has gone to the market, secure her money to buy, probably she must have even collected loan from one Osusu or the other. At the end of the day now, people have supported talks to go into the community. They have now invaded the community. They are now selling people's produce which they did not know the cost for. And you need to look at the young men who were arrested. You need to see some of them who were arrested. You need to see the firearm. A bullet today is more than 1,000 naira. To buy one bullet that you just shoot, those red cartridges, is more than 1,000 naira. Now, people who have very many bullets with them, the question to ask is, how do they get these bullets? How do they get these bullets? Where do they get these bullets from? Who buys them for them? Who purchases them for them? You know, because now they are now shifting from look at them. Look at them. The life cartridges that they have with them is over 50. Look at it on the floor. You can see the life cartridges that these young men have is over 50. This young man you are seeing here now, this young man you are seeing here, this young man you are seeing here now, this young man you are seeing here, this one is the son of Sunday. This one who is at the center, who I'm pointing directly to, that is putting on white singlet. He's the son of the man who says he's the Ojonwe, forceful Ojonwe, self-acclaimed Ojonwe of Oyo Zebahu community. And you can see what he's encouraging his children to do. You know, you can see what he's encouraging his children to do. Such a father should be arrested and prosecuted. You can see what he's encouraging his children to do. A boy, ordinarily a young man like this who ought to be in school, the father is telling him that if you can shoot gun and grab community land, you can also be a rich man for proper education. You are seeing what they are leading them into. And people who say they are activists like Ugbo will come out and be supporting such people. Don't be surprised that these people Ugbo will go for them for their release. Do not be surprised. You will get it. I will also come to brief you. Ugbo will go for their release. Ugbo will go all out because that is what he's being paid to do. He will go all out for their release. So members of the community would also be speaking. They will come out and say what they know, and will also be in the police station to also let the police know what our intentions are. We are whistleblowers and we are letting the world know the true position. If you go and read the petition they wrote in Zone 5, you will also laugh. You would also laugh. These people now, they left the community because they are running out of supplies. They wanted to go and kidnap somebody to demand ransom, and at the end of the day, they have more money to continuously cause crisis. You can imagine, they have more monies to continuously cause communal crisis in Oyo Zebawo community. So, my people, today is a very long day for me. I have to prepare myself for tomorrow's activities and try to see how we can promote good society for our people. For me, I'll be drawing the window closed now, and expect more updates. Expect more updates from us. And my brothers again in Naija Watch, Daniyaji and co. Please also have these videos on your YouTube platform. Put them on your YouTube platform so that you can also call Ugbo to ask him what role is he playing, what role has he been playing, and let him defend himself. Because you all remember the last time he came out, he was shouting, calling me all sort of name and all that. So let him come and defend himself in the activities. I've said with time I'm going to expose him, and I'm currently going deep into getting the root talk. That Chief Ugwa, we're also going to know his role because we are writing a petition to that effect. We're also going to know his role that he's playing in the vision of this community, and who told him to send these messengers to the community to invite the Ojongwe and give them a position on what the palace said. Who ordered him? Was it the monarch? Was it the secretary of the palace? Was it palace functionaries or palace chiefs like him? The details will be out shortly. Once again, I remain no other person than your snobble right activist, Comrade Ugbo Emmanuel. It's one simple way of lending our voices to vices that are currently affecting us as a people. You cannot blame Buhari for this. You cannot blame the Edo State government for this. These are crises caused by man-made, by people who just want to sit down and organize crime and make profit out of it and think that the society will continue to allow them have their way. Once again, my name is Comrade Ugbo Emmanuel. This is our simple way of joining voices to ensure that we have a better Edo State for all. Thank you and bye for now. But remember, before I leave, if you are one of those persons who intend to go and buy property in Oyo Zebawo community for now, do not do that because you are encouraging crime, you are encouraging criminality. Ensure you don't buy property from any party for now until when normalcy is restored back to that community. Thank you and bye.
Now we don't hear from Emmanuel Agbogun. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share am. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.